live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra with total surrender. A woman can transcend first four bodies. With total surrender, a woman can transcend first four bodies. In order to reach higher, we use a ladder. Ladder has different steps. In the same way, psychocenters, they are like the steps of the ladder, of the staircase. And there are seven bodies: the physical body, the etheric body, the astral body, the mental, emotional body, the cosmic body, the nirvanic body. The first four bodies are physical, etheric. They have their own qualities and effect on the consciousness of an individual. When a woman totally surrenders to someone, it can be her husband, it can be any other person. When it is said surrender, it is grossly misunderstood. Surrender is of the mind, of the emotions, of the feelings. You do not have your own way of thinking or anything. There can be men also who are of a feminine nature. They also can attain to this state, but in general it is difficult for men. I recall there was an elderly disciple of my grandfather, elderly grandfather of my disciple, of my grandfather. And it happened he was suffering from asthma. So someone, a mystic or any of that kind of a person, gave him a medicine, put it in the banana, and he said, this will cure you of your asthma, but from now onwards do not partake banana. So my mother used to say that she told me that she and her brother Sufi Omkarnath, when they were young, they will go and tell that elderly person. Popularly, he was known as Papaji. Papaji, the master has sent this banana for you to eat. He said, this is the innocence and the surrender. He was serious. He said, a master has sent it for me. And he took it in his hand to eat. If the master has said that, I will eat it. Because he knows what is good. Then they got afraid because he was. So they took it. He said, no, he didn't say anything. So couple times when it came to the attention of the master Brij Mohan Lal, he makes sure, he said, he told my mother and her brother not to do things like that. It is also said, although there are many atrocities around the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, that is a different matter. I am taking only one of the incident of surrender to his master. He was the disciple of Hazrat Khwaja Muhammad Masoom, who was the second son of Mujaddid Alif Sani in Sarhind. It happened that Aurangzeb's father Shah Jahan was the disciple of Hazrat Khwaja Muhammad Masoom. So he brought all his four sons, Dara Shikoh the eldest one, Aurangzeb the youngest one, all the four to Khwaja Muhammad Masoom and asked him who will be the next emperor. So Hazrat Masoom was sitting on his janamaz. Janamaz is the mat on which a person offers his prayers, namaz. So he said, he got up from that seat and asked one by one all the four children, and he said, Benashi. Benashi is Arabic or Persian, I do not know, but it is of that language word. Benashi means sit down. Everybody said, how can I sit down? This is your prayer mat. When it chance came for Aurangzeb and the Hazrat Masoom asked him to Benashi, he read a kata, a couplet. And he said, if your master says to dip your janamaz into wine, please do so, because he know what is haq. If the master tells you to dip your janamaz, which is a sacred mat, and Muslims abstain from alcohol. So if your master says to dip your janamaz in wine, in alcohol, do so, because he knows what is right. This is the meaning of surrender. It is very easy for a woman, but only a rare person can attain to that state, because basically man is logic. Woman does not use her logic as far as love is concerned. So the four bodies she can transcend: the spiritual emotion, the intuitive body. Then she reaches straight away to spiritual, emotional, or intuitive body or atmic body. Thereafter the cosmic and the nirvanic body or the bliss body comes in. It is strange. You are not alone when it comes to surrender. When for surrender to complete, you are alone responsible for it. If I want to surrender to someone totally, I can do it. If I want to attack an individual, if I want to attack to someone, then I am not alone. I am not alone because there are two things. If I want to give you something, I am the giver, you are the one receiving it. So in attack, if I want to attack you, then you have a choice to defend yourself. And so the result of that, I am alone, not responsible. I attacked you. The result is mine. That because I attacked you, so punishment will come to me. But the other person is also responsible because he had the freedom to defend himself. If he can defend himself, he can offset my force and attack and save himself. But this does not happen in case of surrender. Surrender is from your side. You are surrendering. I spoke about certain other things, but Shaktipat, the when the energy is transferred to you, to an individual during meditation or initiation or in any process, tremendous energy is transferred on, is directed towards you. It is like you are turning on an electrical appliance and all of a sudden you put it on full throttle. You are driving the vehicle, all of a sudden you mash the accelerator, there will be a sound. So something like that effect is known as Shakti path. Shakti means energy, path means start being directed towards you. So sometimes if the high voltage of the current passes through an appliance, it can damage. So in that state, it becomes difficult. In case of a woman, this becomes difficult at times. But the moment she surrenders, that is possible. Any amount of energy can be directed towards the person. Man can attain, can go as deep in love as possible, but he cannot fulfill that criteria that grooves into his consciousness. There are certain reasons for it. Man by nature is aggressive. It is not that all men are aggressive, but I said by nature, most of the men are aggressive and women are considered to be passive by nature. This is the very nature of the man and woman. So because of that, the surrender becomes difficult for a man. Even the attack is possible only when one surrenders completely. If a woman totally surrenders to someone, so the requirements of the first four bodies, the physical, the etheric, the astral, and the mental body are fulfilled, and she very easily reaches to the fifth, which is the mental emotional body. And that stage, the surrender is most important. If she reaches to that state, no one can stop her progress. After him, there is no one but the God. While being in the first four bodies, Whosoever she surrenders or is in total love becomes godly for him. According to Hindus, it is said a woman should consider it is an oft used sentence, Pati means husband, Parmeshwar means God. Pati Parmeshwar hai. Husband is God. The moment you are now God and the man, two things need to understand. Man is the form. God is the formless. So the formless, when manifests in the form of form, then it becomes man. So husband is the manifest form of the unmanifest God. So there are two aspects. This was not possible in case of Rukmani. No wife can see the divinity in her husband. Always there comes a problem. She will say he is good, does this thing, he does so many things very good, he is very kind-hearted, but the but always remains. Something or the other you will find she will have to complain about her husband. It may be trivial, it may be the moment you start looking into her, that invisible current of godliness, then the surrender is complete. This is very important. That is why Hindus, they call it Pati Parmeshwar hai, and you must look the divinity in the husband. Rukmani, who was the wedded wife of Krishna, could not see the divinity in Krishna, the formless form of Krishna, what is his role, what he is, and what is the role he has to perform according to the script on the stage. I had many times mentioned it to you, the world is fine, a stage on which we come to act our parts. Then do the most of what he may. Now you look at the movie, there is an actor, a script is written, and he has to act according to a script step by step. In the same way, when you have assumed the form, you have assumed the birth, it is like you have come on the stage of the world to act your role according to the script that is written. Hindu scriptures, the Sanatana scriptures, give that example many times. Many times it happened. There are stories. These are, I would put this way very clearly, if you do not want to understand these stories, but the meaning that they want to convey to you, that is very important. The meaning behind that is the script is written before, and after that, according to the script, we have to act. And also it is said that things happen at the right time. The water boils at a certain time, a script is written, at equal temperature and pressure, the water will boil at 100 degrees Celsius or near about. This is the script. And this script, you can say the law, is a law of science. There are same way, there are other laws of the science. So this is the law of the existence, that things will happen at the right time when everything, all the other criteria are fulfilled. So in that case there is a particular story goes on in the scripture behind the incarnation of of Ram, very clear, and then the three different forms. It is said there were two attendants who were the security guards at the place of Vishnu, the preserver. It happened that there are two sages, they came to visit Vishnu. So if a person of that stature is, they are not supposed to be stopped. So these two security guards were so much in love with his master that they forgot to pay attention to those recluse who came to visit Vishnu. So he put a curse on them that you will have to take 7 births, and after the fulfillment of that you will come back to restore your job. You are suspended for 7 lives. In our terminology, we can say that if your employee does something wrong, he is suspended from the work for a certain period of time. So it was suspension for 7 lives. When Vishnu heard this, he said this punishment is very severe, and normally if the punishment given to an employee is very severe, he can make a request, and at the request the punishment can be reduced or whatsoever. So it was reduced to, and the 7 lives were where you will remain like a devotee all the time, the worshipper in harmony with God. But he said this is too long, 7 lives to be away from our job. So then it was said that you will be given 3 births. You have to assume 3 births, and in each birth you will be carrying on the atrocities against the divinity, and in each birth Lord has to assume the human form to kill you. So they agreed for that. This is how the 3 were born in one, and since you are 2 together in this situation, so both of you will always remain together as brothers or whatsoever it is. So a script is written, and according to that we have to act our part. Depending on how you have lived your life, the script is given. They depend based on what is your position in your job, what is your capability. A plan is made that Mr. X will go and undertake this job, and a plan is decided beforehand. You have to go and have a very important business meeting. So before that, policies or the matters are decided how this has to be done, a protocol. If the 2 prime ministers, the prime minister of the 2 countries or the presidents have to meet, the protocol is decided that on what topics we will be discussing. So it is, you are given an instructions to work in a particular manner. So you can say the script is written. According to the script, you have to raise these issues. You have to discuss the matters on these the importance. So it happened that no wife accepts her husband, sees the divinity in her husband. I'm talking about from the woman's side, not from the man's side as here. The same is the case with the man. Always he finds there is some problem in her or the other. So there is an important incident comes in the life of Meera. It's a very beautiful story. Meera went to Vrindavan, the place where Krishna lived. And there was a very famous temple, and the head of that temple does not want to look at the women. As a result, he has abstained. So as a result, the entry of the women in that temple was prohibited. But Meera is Meera, intoxicated in love for her beloved. Intoxicated, there was a span of maybe thousands of years between Krishna and Meera. But through her devotion, through her meditative insights, Krishna has become alive for her. She will commune with Krishna, converse with Krishna, dance with him, all these things. So she was playing her the cymbals, the musical instrument, and playing that, and her the other instrument, she entered the temple. The gatekeepers were tried to stop her, saying that women are not allowed in this because the priest of the temple does not want to look at any woman. So Meera said, this is strange. I thought in the universe there is only one man, and that is Krishna. And who is this other man? Certainly I would like to see whether he is afraid of looking at me. What I want to see, who is the second man who considers himself to be a man, because only Krishna is the man in the whole universe. And like a thunder, like a storm, Meera stormed into the courtyard of the temple. The priest was standing with a platter for prayers, articles in it. It slipped from his hand. And it happened that before Meera could enter inside, the message was sent to him. But the gap between the message reached the priest and Meera to enter, it was infinitesimal. It just happened in an instant of a moment. She entered, saying that I want to look at the other man who claims himself to be a man, because I know there is only one man, and that is Krishna. Where is that second man? This platter slipped from his hand. The moment Meera said that I want to see the one who claims himself to be a man, because Krishna is the only man. And when Meera came in front of him, he ran and fell at the feet of Meera. And he said, a woman for whom there is only one man in the universe, a woman for whom there is only one man in the universe. Now, to call her a woman is not right. And I have come to touch your feet. Because in that very moment, Meera became divine. He was considering the women as ordinary women. Ordinary women. And he said, I have not seen a woman like you. In front of you, being a woman, being a man is meaningless for me. The same story goes on for a woman called Lalna in Kashmir. She was a beautiful woman and very devoted. She had a very hard family life. When she attained, after that she said, there is no, who should I hide myself from? And she remained naked throughout her life. And existence provided her belly. The flesh of the belly became so big that it leaned to cover up her frontal nudity. Only once she had asked when someone came and he said, now a man is coming and I must put on the clothes. Because he said, she has not seen any man. The surrender becomes the totality of devotion. Mira's devotion, when she reached this, her surrender completed, it becomes the embodiment of devotion. Mira became the devotee. And for her, there was no man in the universe. If a man reaches the fourth body, he will become a total man. He can become a Purna Purush. And for him, there is no importance of any woman. Woman becomes meaningless for him. Just as when a woman reaches to that fourth state, transcends the fourth, out of her surrender, the significance of man is meaningless for him. As it happened for Mira, there is no man except Krishna. And for the same happens in case if man reaches to that state, the significance of a woman becomes meaningless. Transcending the fourth body, woman becomes the energy field of surrender. The totality of surrender is only possible for woman, and man is masculine energy. That's why Shiva is the Shakti, and Parvati, his consort, is the one that absorbs that energy. And the two is the symbol of meditation. Rain cloud, the clouds are full of raindrops. Raindrops are meaningless. The clouds can shower if there is someone to absorb the raindrops that fall. So earth absorbs the raindrops, but it has a certain capability. If it is saturated, it cannot absorb all the raindrops that fall from the clouds. So woman can absorb the totality of the energy that flows. Now, after this stage, the woman becomes not a woman anymore. She may be in the physical form, but she is the embodiment of feminine energy. And after that, the man becomes the embodiment of masculine energy, Shakti, anima and animus. It is after this stage, a woman is considered what Tao calls it, the anima and animus, Luzu, in his Secret of the Golden Flower, calls it anima and animus. Hindus, Sanatanis, they call it Shiva and Shakti. The two elements of the two sides of the brain, the left and the right, are merged into one another. In modern terminology, you can understand this. The two sides of the brain are merged into one another. There is harmony in that. The aggressiveness of a man can attain to that aggressiveness, that energy, through various the yoga processes. But the surrender of the woman is only because of the devotion. When woman attains to this, it is only because of a total devotion or surrender, you can say. Surrender can happen only because of totality, when the devotion becomes total. And surrender becomes devotion. Surrender becomes devotion, and aggressiveness, the the man's nature of aggressiveness becomes the yoga. There is not much difference between the two. The difference is only of man and from the side of the man and woman. You understand this way. Love and devotion are two sides of the same coin. The coin is one, but it is from which angle you are watching it. You can look at the angle of the love, you can look at the angle side of meditation. When an individual attains to meditation, he becomes compassionate. Compassion begins to overflow from him. The ultimate in meditation is compassion. And if you follow the route of simple thing, if you have to reach to a particular place where a concert is taking place, you and your friend are going, you are going from your residence, he is going from his residence, both are living in opposite directions. The directions will be different. You will be moving eastward, he will be moving westward. And the road map, the scenery and everything will be different. But when both of you will reach where the conference or the concert is taking place, one is coming from the eastwardly direction, the other is coming from the westwardly direction. A woman moves from the path of surrender, man enters from the other side. But ultimately, they attain to the same state. The moment meditation attains to fruition, compassion is born in you. You are compassionate. Buddha is embodiment of compassion because he followed the path of meditation, dhyan. Meera followed the path of devotion, bhakti, and she attained to the totality of meditation. So, whatever route you choose, ultimately you reach the coin, the place. Now, you have to look at it. The difference is only because the Mr. X was coming from east, moving from east to west, and Y was moving from west to east. This is the only difference that remains. Whether the drop merges into the ocean or the ocean merges into the drop, the result is ultimately the same. If the drop of the man, when it dissolves in the ocean, it will jump and reach the ocean. You will take a jumping board and jump into the ocean. The drop that woman is, that has become like a valley. That is the capacity that can awaken, that can call the ocean to fill it. The valley and the peak. Man comes like a peak and the peak, and woman comes like a valley. Woman comes like the valley. Whatsoever it is, the positivity will merge with negativity, or the negativity will merge with the positivity, and the total energy will enter into it. Man, the difference remains, the man will remain sperm a drop that has to merge into the ocean. Woman cannot become, woman will remain the womb. So womb has the capacity to absorb. After the fifth body, the difference between man and woman completely vanishes. There is no difference between man and a woman. In deep, the Shivlingam is the symbol of the inner flame. When this inner flame is lit in you from the side of the woman, when the surrender is complete, the inner flame is lit. You are light onto yourself. When it happens from the side of the man, the inner flame is complete. You become the embodiment of awakening. So that is why Shivlingam is the, if you look at this, it is like the flame of the lamp. It is a lamp, it has a flame, it has a wick that is lighting and is becoming a flame. And the diya is like a valley, which has the fluid in it, and the fluid is burning and the flame is coming out. In deep, in the innermost depth, this is the limit. Up to the fifth body is the limit of individuality or the beingness. After this was the last checkpost or the last obstruction. The individuality, the man and a woman, your manness and the womanness will follow you only up to the fourth body. After that, the entire realm, everything changes. There only beingness remains. Up to that, you are a man, you are a woman, up to fourth. But after the fourth, only the beingness remains. That is why the fifth body, the difference of man and a woman disappears. Meera reached the fifth body. For her, there was no man. Lalna reached to that fifth body where there was significance of man vanished for him. And for Buddha, the significance of woman vanished. And there was an incident when Buddha was sitting under the tree in a meditation, and certain people, they had tried to, in the full moon, it was full moon night, and they had carried a woman and drinks and friends and all that. And when they were drunk, the woman tried to escape and she escaped. When they got into a little bit, the intoxication vanished somewhat. They were looking for the woman who they had carried with them for entertainment. They saw a man sitting under the tree in meditation, asked him, did you see any woman who was without clothes walking from here? He said, I saw someone pass, but I do not know if it was a man or a woman. This is the stage when women becomes meaningless for you. The difference, the biological difference is only up to the level of the body. Beyond the body, is thought masculine or feminine? No. The lamp is neither male nor female. The light of the lamp is neither male nor female. At the level of the being, the distinction of the biological distinction vanish. And when the biological, you have the distinction of the biological distinction that I am a woman and he is a man, how can I share my, the problems with him? My problems are feminine problems and he is a man. How can I do that? But after that, up to the fourth, the differentiation of a man and a woman remains. There will be a difference whether the drop merges in the ocean or ocean merges into the drop. The valley is ready to absorb the ocean. It invites the ocean. Up to the fourth is the boundary, fourth body. Before that, if a woman wants to take a jump, it is possible. It is not possible. If the man wants to surrender, it will be difficult. Certain men find it difficult to surrender. And after the fifth body, it becomes easier because all the boundaries vanish. If you are a man and you have an attraction for a woman, really this attraction is for the inner woman in you, the feminineness in you, because every human being, just as electric bulb, or the car battery has two poles, the positive and negative. The positive is complementary to the negative, and negative is complementary to the positive. Because of the interaction of the two, the elimination happens. In the same way, if you are attracted towards a woman, it is not the attraction for the outer woman or outer man. It is somewhere deep within, it is the attraction for the hidden woman in you. Because remember, half of you is ovum and half of you is sperm. It is out of the interaction of ovum and sperm the body was formed. So your attraction for a man or a woman is for the hidden, latent man or a woman in you. And then your journey continues and you remain stuck in that throughout your life. You do not transcend beyond the man and a woman. The moment you transcend the physical body, then the etheric body, the astral body, the mental emotional body, then you reach to that state, the fifth body, where all distinction of man and a woman destroys. Until your attraction for the inner woman attains fulfillment, until your attraction for an inner woman or an inner man attains to fulfillment, you can go on leaving the wives or husbands. It will not make any sense. You will be just wasting your time and energy moving from. It is like swimming. You are swimming onto the surface of the water on the river, from one position to another, from one man to another, one woman to another, and the process continues. Nothing happens. No fulfillment comes in. But the attraction for a man, the other man or the other woman always remains there. It never vanishes. You go everywhere, and then when you come back, the new imaginations will keep on coming, and you will start rejoicing the new imaginations, thinking about all that. That time thinking about renunciation is just a joke, is meaningless. Unless and until there is a union, the moment there is a union, the outer union with a man and a woman is only the way to attain to the union between inner man and an inner woman. So when the woman surrenders, so means although she has surrendered to a man, but that means that she has attained totality with the inner man or inner woman. After that, the need for her, for a man, or for him, the need for a woman vanishes. Because the two has merged into one another and there is illumination. That's why at times certain seekers has mentioned that there is no need of sex in their life now. It is meaningless. This is the stage comes in. This is the state of total renunciation or the state of Shiva, who is completely into the meditation, irrespective of anything. The third eye is open, the eye of intuition, and the moment the meditation has attained totality, the moment he looks at the lust, anytime lust is trying to creep into in him or her, the moment he looks into it, burns into ashes. So some have mentioned that I don't know what happened. I do not have a desire for sex or anything anymore. Yes, it happens. It is a stage, intermediate stage. After that, if the need arises for you to enter for certain reason, Shiva entered into the family relation after that for the benefit of humanity. Because it was said the offspring born out of this conjugal relationship will be able to destroy this demon. For the benefit of humanity, for establishing righteousness, that awakening is born again and again, it assumes the form. For Krishna says, for the destruction of the wicked and for the protection of the sage, I rise from age to age. What does it mean? He comes out of his solitary cave of meditation to enter into manifestation, manifest himself if that be necessary. Otherwise, no need, neither for the woman nor for the man to enter into any relationship with anyone. Meera, for her, the man, the other, no man exists except Krishna. And for the same man does not say so, but for him the importance of the woman has completely vanished. But he follows the westwardly direction, woman follows the eastwardly direction. Not that woman and man follow east and west. From one side from the side of love, through surrender, woman attains to that. Man attains from the side of meditation, the totality of love, because the moment meditation is attained, compassion is born. The moment compassion is born, you are meditative. You are intuitive. Woman becomes intuitive, man becomes compassionate. If you are a man, in unconscious there is a woman. If you are a woman, then deep within there is a man sitting in you, and your actual search is for him. Your actual search is for her. But we seek this in outer world. And that's where the search continues and never completes. You marry a woman, you marry a man, after some time you find that the woman or a man is not one of your choice. You did not get the right kind of a woman or right kind of man, the search continues. I'll continue this. This has been mentioned many times. Unless if in the battery the positive current is not in harmony with the negative pole, the battery can blow out. So what is happening in everybody's life? The situation explodes. It remains for some time, but after that it explodes. Unless there is the dissolution between the two poles, complementary poles, and there the consciousness is born, and that is the illumination. And then for the first time, one attains to totality. This is what Tantra says. This is what the way of Tantra is. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.